when all that you see
are actors on your television singing off key.
What savvy, well-versed heroes can settle this score once more with TV. Welcome, Elphabas and Glindas, to a bonus episode of Once More with TV, a podcast where I guess we talk about Wicked more. It's our show now.
I'm your co-host, Liza Truschel, she, her, and I'm a Wizard of Oz apologist.
Ooh, yeah, a very good classic. I'm Alex Givnatsky, he, him, and I am one of those assholes who does think that Avenue Q should have won Best Musical over Wicked. I think that was the right decision.
Wow, okay. Yeah. That is a rare subset of people.
I think we are a rare but loud subset. I feel like people are always saying, I think it was deserved. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Wicked for Good. Liza, you and I have refused to talk about this until right now, and I am dying to know everything you think about this. I'm just going to start you there.
I am hoping that by the end of this episode, I will have sorted through my feelings because they're all over the place. I am at sea. I am completely awash in feelings, and I don't know what's going on.
Much like this movie, tonally all over the place with emotions everywhere, yeah, I think is right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how I feel, too. I feel mixed emotions.
I feel a lot of things, man. I feel a lot of things. There were highs, and there were peaks and valleys throughout this.
Yeah, when people have been asking me what I thought about the movie, I usually say, off rip, I think it's worse than part one. Mm-hmm. But I think some of the highs feel higher for me, and some of the lows definitely feel lower for me.
Yeah.
Like, I have more issues with this movie than I did with the first movie, but I think where it lands, it really lands.
Yes, I actually 100% agree. And I've been trying to explain that feeling to not theater people, and they're all immediately annoyed when I open my mouth. It's been like a really difficult week of trying not to like someone, I'm like, you don't want to open this box, man. Like, I'm not going to give you a one-word answer.
It's really
ready.
It's really funny because I do feel like people are a little bit divisive about this movie, but at the same time, it doesn't feel as heated. I think it just returns me back to theater days when I just got to like something and be weird about it, and know that there's a bunch of people who feel the same way. But man, this movie's a mess.
It's messy. It's all over the place.
Really quickly, I'm just curious if this happened for you. Did you get a message from Ariana and Cynthia at the very beginning of the movie thanking you for watching it?
England did not get this message.
It's totally fine because it was awful. I mean, I hate that they have to do this in the start of some movies now. It's weird. I don't like it, but I just wanted to mention it because they do use the word clocktick in that little greeting. Yeah. And I could tell by your reaction you had the same feeling about clocktick as I did.
Yeah, it was just overdone. It's funny like one or two times, and then it becomes weird and annoying. I mean, like, I understand that Oz, like, in carryover from the L. Frank Baum books, like, they conjugate words differently than we do, and it's a humorous thing, but, like, hold on, just a clocktick. I was like, I'm gonna punch someone. You guys gotta say a second.
It stuck out to me every single time and was like a needle in my brain, to the point where I started counting.
Natural. It never felt natural. It also, I got a really shocking dose of reality when I was speaking to my twin brother about this, who I think we might have spoken about on this podcast. My twin brother hates musicals, like doesn't believe in them. And he was like, he straight up was like, I don't know, man, that press tour is awful. And it just reminded, he was like, it's bad, like every time I see them talk. And it just reminded me that sometimes when you let theater kids out in public, it can be a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some discourse online about are these girls okay, and I am a little bit in that camp of like, hey, are these girls okay? Because it's unhinged, but I do feel like that's part of the marketing. I think it is a calculated
It absolutely
effort.
is. They've really gone for it, but it did just it was a little dose of reality of like, oh, we are considered really strange.
This movie for me opens like a superhero movie, like an action movie.
Oh my god, it opens like a theater kid's idea of an action movie is what I would
that's
say.
right. That's
It's
right.
embarrassing. I was humiliated by the open of this film.
I'm embarrassed, but I like the choice.
Oh, you
I like
liked Elphaba doing a kickflip?
I'm gonna be honest, yes. The problem is that the rest of the movie is not this, right? Like, if they decided, hey, we're gonna go full camp on this and have Elphaba skateboarding and saving the day as this revolutionary figure, I can buy into that, but it does not set the tone for the movie at all.
I know the meeting that happened that made this scene happen. And it makes me want to gouge my eyes out.
Yeah, but
like,
what if
no,
we had her
we can't...
skateboarding to No One Mourns the Wicked?
Yeah, and it's like, well, we have to show, not tell. So we don't know that she's doing things. We have to see it. We just splash yellow paint on a woman on the ground. It's just like so embarrassing. I really hated this.
Yes, I'm here with you. I think there's a world in which it works, but the big note for this whole scene, which is my big note for the whole movie, way too long. Did not need to be
too long,
anywhere
dude.
near this long.
Way too long. This was like a 2-and-a-bit-hour movie. It's what, a 1-hour active stage show, if that. It's like 45 minutes. Like, yeah. I mean, and that was our note last time too. Is again like, there's a mistrust in the material that I felt was even more present in this act. Like, I understand that Glinda can't do magic and that it bothers her. Like,
Yes.
I know that, actually. I don't need a splashback to her, like, 10th birthday. I don't care
Yes.
that you found a child with dimples. This is a 20-minute scene that adds nothing to this
so
movie.
long.
It's
I
so
actually
long.
I don't hate the choice of a flashback. Just cut that scene into a quarter of the length that it was. And yeah, I don't mind adding things. I don't mind doing different things. And I we talk about applauding big swings and choices like that, but it does feel like they don't trust the source material, or that I just think their execution of those ideas aren't that good is the problem. They're wicked.
There are changes that I like. I just want to jump out on like the change I really liked was making Elphaba's spell on Nessa Rose that she can float rather than she can walk.
Smart.
Which has
It was a
always
smart choice.
been a really ableist choice. And why no wheelchair users have ever been able to play Nessa before is in Act 2 she walks.
Yeah.
And I really liked that we don't quote unquote fix her. I thought that change was really great. I'm trying to think of other things I liked about this movie.
Well, maybe they'll come when we get to them.
They'll come.
But I'm sure there's parts we like.
There
right?
are things there. I mean, like, I actually, I thought this was interestingly Glinda's movie.
Yeah,
I really
agree.
think that Ariana Grande is the emotional beating heart of this film, and I think she really carries what she's up to. I think she is, like, believable in every moment, and you see a real character journey for her. I thought she was really great, to be honest. I also think it's category fraud. I don't know if I've ever spoken about category fraud on this, but they're running a for your consideration like Oscar and awards campaign with her as a supporting actress, which is category fraud. This is a lead role. You can have 2 lead roles. That's how this is. It's literally 2 lead roles.
Yeah, 100%.
And so there is every likelihood that she's going to be at least nominated. I actually kind of would be surprised if she wasn't at least nominated.
Yeah.
And it's so wild that that's going to be in supporting, because that's so wildly unfair to people who actually only have 20 minutes to make an impression.
Yeah,
She has like
exactly.
2 full
Just
hours.
multiple songs. Yeah.
Like, anyway.
Yeah, totally agree. I think Ari and Cynthia are incredible in this movie, just like they were in the first movie. And so much of what is good about this movie is both of their performances. I have issues with the way that they frame Glinda in this movie. And I have questions about that we'll get to the end, I think. But I think she does really, really amazing work with the stuff that she has. Mm-hmm. Hate her. Okay. The dialogue in this movie is crazy.
It is. Yeah, it's a little wild.
I was just thinking of the moment where Glinda goes, "So like a bubble." And I'm like, why did we have this?
Yeah. It's a little much. Again, we're making scenes too long.
Yeah,
like,
way too long.
And also weirdly, we're losing there was a very strange decision making for me on what we do see and what we don't see.
Yeah.
Like I was like, okay, I have 10 minutes of Glinda's 10th birthday party that I didn't need, but I don't see Elphaba learn her sister is dead. Like, what? Like, that is a pivotal moment for that character. And I get that it kind of happens off stage, but it's like, now that we have this phase, surely I can see her realize that. I don't, we jump from Fiero's happy to stay at Elphaba's Keebler elf tree house. And then he's just like out in the wind. I don't see him make the decision to go out into the storm. Like, there are weird things missing and then things that are too long. Like, there's a very strange sequencing here. So some things, even though this is a long ass movie, whole decisions feel non sequiturs. Like, we don't get the moment of decision, which is so strange to me.
Yeah, it at times feels very rushed. I agree completely. And especially the tone switching is so crazy in this
violent.
That also
I would call it violent.
Violent. That whole sequence especially is like they Fiero and Elphaba have their lovely moment together, and then the twister happens, and then she's flying out there, and then Glinda and her have their cat fight. And it's funny.
Well, which is my favorite scene in the movie. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I thought it was hilarious.
I think that's a violent tone shift for
me. Ariana Grande doing that twirl of that wand was hysterical. But yeah, no, you're right in that tonally it's really odd because again, this is supposed to be. Elphaba's sister has just died. I only see her get mad at Glinda about that. I do not see her be sad about it, which is so insane.
Yeah.
I think they actually kind of Elphaba, by making Glinda the heart of this movie, I do think Elphaba, we don't get her peaks and valleys in the same way. Yeah,
agreed.
It's also a very weird choice, and I do think it's a lot in the direction. The scene where she allows Nessa to float, this thing that she finally did that's good, she's not fucking happy. I was like, why are you still so sad? And then it's not a shift when, and also they did change. I thought and I could be remembering this wrong. Oh, fun fact, I'm at home this week for Thanksgiving, and I was going through my mom, whenever you go home and your mom's like, clean out your room, and you're like, ugh. So I was doing that this week. Mom! So I was cleaning out my room this week, and I found my ticket to when I saw Wicked on tour on October 23rd, 2012 at the Paramount Theater in Seattle, Washington.
Wow.
I know.
13 whole years ago. That's
13
crazy.
whole years ago. Anyway. So I'm saying this having seen that 13 years ago. I've seen it since, but I'm relatively sure that in the show, Nessa's spell is not to hurt Bach, but it's a love spell that goes wrong, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. That sounds right to me.
It was a very weird shift to have Nessa be a whole fascist.
Nessa's capital F fascist.
Yeah, she controls the means of transportation. That's a fascist. It's a crazy result to a breakup.
Also, crazy how quickly efficient their bureaucracy is.
Yeah, wow, I was really amazed.
No munchkins, and then the racism happened immediately. Immediately that day. Amazon Prime racism. At 6 p.m. today. I gotta say, it was it took me out. It was so funny in that horrible gut-wrenching scene when Elphaba is like saving Bach and turning him into the Tin Man. He's just knocking over tin constantly.
Like over and over. I went to go see this with our brilliant marketing person, Kana, and my partner. And Kana and I, every time they said brainless around Piero, just looked at each other. We're like, we know. Yeah, there's a little like they got really excited about their own foreshadowing in a way that got a little goofy.
It got really goofy.
It got a little silly.
It sucks because Wicked came out at a time, and because it's a stage show where like where did the origin of the broom and the hat and all this kind of stuff come from? And like that's kind of fun and campy and interesting. But now we have so many origin stories at this point that I like don't care about. And it's unfortunate for the show that that's where we are, because the whole show is like, hey, remember this? This is what caused it.
Oh my God. But I will say one of the things about this that really electrified me was that I went to see this movie in the theaters, and there were a few, I think, men who had been dragged along with partners who did not know what was going to happen. And so, like, at the end, when Piero got, like, Elphaba out and it's revealed that she went to a trapdoor and she didn't die, a guy in my theater went, what? And I was like, that was magical. I'm like, really? And then I started cackling, and Kana had to literally hit me to like make me stop laughing.
That's really good. I wish my theater was more reactive. I saw it twice.
I will say it was not a reactive theater until that moment, which is probably why it got such a big reaction out of me.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I will say though, I think part of the problem is that the tone is so hard to read that I think people are like not sure when it's a comedy and when it's supposed to be serious. I think people didn't know how to react. Sure. There were only a few scenes that were out and out. Like, there were laughs during the cat fight scene because it is out and out funny. But everything else, people were like, I don't know how to react to this.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really great point.
Because last time I went, it was much more reactive.
Totally. It felt more fun. That does remind me of like when it, like if you ever go see Hades Town and somebody reacts to Orpheus turning around at the end, and you're like,
man, you're like,
they told you that this is how it's gonna go. It's very funny. I want to go back to Thank Goodness. And talk...
I mean. Yeah. You mean the song Previously on Wicked?
Previously on Wicked. That whole... I mean, I think Ariana sounds really great in that song.
Oh, she sounds brilliant, yeah.
I think the cast sounds really great on that song, just like last time. I think everybody's hitting their marks. I don't get at all what's happening during that maybe time freeze that happens when the confetti stops moving and Ari is just like singing her internal thoughts out to everybody, because I think they were setting that up like she's not singing to the crowd right now and this is an internal moment, but she's not singing like it's an internal moment.
No.
And Michelle Yeoh is moving so much behind her and not
it's
frozen.
Very confusing. Yeah, well, so before this, we get, like, normally the show goes straight from, straight into Thank Goodness from the, whatever you want to call the song before it. And then we got
March of the Witch Hunters before? I don't remember what starts Act 1.
No, I can't remember. Now I feel like a fool. But anyway, normally go right into it, and we have to do like mini reprises of every song we sung a year ago. I will say a lot of this was very interesting to me because they are making a movie presuming that you didn't watch it since you watched last year, which I think like made this open way too long and like way too weird, and also like does real disservice to certain characters. Like I think especially like secondary and tertiary characters. I feel like Nessa was really screwed by that choice. Yeah. Because we jump in and she's an entirely different person. Yeah. Than we left her. But yeah, no, thank goodness. This is like my favorite song from Act 2 besides For Good, probably. I mean, like, I just think it's so beautiful and like sad, and I love this like emotional turmoil within Glinda that she like doesn't know how to express and can't. I really love this song. I do think Ariana Grande sounds great on it. I do agree that moment, I didn't know whatever they were going for, just didn't read. Like, I just didn't quite know how to justify that in my head. But yeah, she sounds brilliant on it. It's also, yeah, I mean, I think it goes to, okay, I'm just gonna be jumping around. It goes to something that like dramaturgically, it's always been, and like Kristen Chenoweth and maybe Stephen Schwartz have even said this before, Glinda is being more honest when she's in her lower register, and when she's up high, she's lying to herself or to other people. And that's very apparent in Thank Goodness, where she's like, her thoughts are kind of in that lower bit, and then at the end she goes, I couldn't be happier today, and that's like the highest note she sings in the show. Like, and that's a really great choice. And of course, like, I'm Not That Girl, that's the lowest she goes in that show. She has to be honest with herself. And like in For Good, Glinda takes all the lower harmonies despite being the soprano role. And Elphaba sings on top. And so, but that's Glinda being like fully honest with herself. And that dramaturgically is completely ruined by Girl in the Bubble, which is in a high register but is honest. I was really irritated by that. That was like such a nitpicky ass thing. But I was like,
listen, there's so much to be critical of that song. Both of the new songs are so bad.
Where Elphaba said, get to the polls.
It's maddening how bad they are. And I know that I'm coming into this already being a little bit defensive because I know the songs from the soundtrack, and when I'm introduced to something new, I think I'm predisposed not to like it. Yep. But these were really bad. Just to fix what we said earlier. No One Mourns the Wicked, Reprise, and Thank Goodness are the same song.
Yes.
It has like a slash through them.
Thank you for doing that. But yeah, usually you go right to, instead of doing like, I've been living in a tree for a year.
The only other thing I want to say, it is a nice touch. I don't remember if they do this in the stage show or not, but I think it's a nice touch when Fiyero walks away and she's like, he's just getting me a refreshment. He's so nice.
Yeah, he's so nice like that.
Well,
yeah.
I think it's nice that they have I'm Not That Girl underscoring that moment.
Yeah.
I think that's really sweet. Or not sweet, but it's a good choice, a poignant choice. And I really like the way they act that moment. Both Jonathan Bailey and Ariana Grande, where she's like, you'd be happy too. And he's like, sure, fine. I'm always happy. Okay, I gotta go. I think that works really well.
It works really well. No, Jonathan Bailey, again, like similar to the last time, didn't drop a single moment that he was given. Like, he was really present, and with his God-given talent of looking at someone like they hung the moon.
Listen, I actually kind of disagree, and I don't think it's his fault. I think he does a really, really great job. I am not convinced so much that he really loves Elphaba, and I think it's partially because Elphaba and Glinda so clearly love each other so much.
No, I mean
that it's hard for me to really buy into it.
Ariana Grande made the choice to play this gay. And that is obvious, and it works. No, Fiyero is an accessory to this story. Okay, we actually have to talk about one of my biggest gripes with this is As Long As You're Mine. This is one of my biggest gripes with this movie. A song I really enjoy. It's a very, like, I mean, for theater, it's a really sexy duet. Like, it's
really sexy, yeah.
Really sexy, and that's something Jonathan Bailey excels at. This is his whole bag. But they decided to throw a bucket of water on it, let's be honest. Like, first of all, we have to talk about Sweatergate, this negligee.
I mean, I love that sweater.
I am going to punch you in the mouth.
I love it.
It is an insane choice. It looks like it was fucking, like, instead of like a Cinderella style where, like, the mice made it for her, it was made by a bunch of feral rats. There are, like, giant holes in it. It is interesting. It's texturally interesting. It's a beautiful piece. That's not what I'm denying. Its presence in this scene is psychotic to me. Like, she wears, like, a silk robe when she's living at Shiz. I get that her home is not insulated. She's living in this tree house. But it's just like, it's so a deliberately unsexy choice that like that and many other choices made. First of all, I went to a theater that had a bunch of kids in it. I do understand that they've tried to make this into a more family-friendly thing. The problem with that is, again, I felt that Elphaba's entire storyline is being undermined by what we're doing with this film, because at the end of this song she has to say, for the first time I feel wicked, because she's finally taking something from herself. There's never been a less wicked scene than this fucking scene.
Listen, to gently push back, I think that sweater is sexy. I really do. What I think
you're
is
a nerd, bro.
I'm a super nerd, and this movie is for nerds. I do think the weirder thing is that they are like individually taking off and putting on clothes in separate rooms.
Yeah,
like,
they're not singing to each other. And the song is
Yeah.
very much sung in another person's open mouth. This is like, this is close quarters, I need your body on mine singing. And instead we have Elphaba doing a circuit of her entire home while Fiyero takes, I guess, 30 minutes to take a jacket off.
I feel so weird about that whole song because I think if I close my eyes, they sound amazing.
They do,
and
yeah,
I
they sound
really love them
as
vocally.
a test, after I saw this movie, I listened to the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Just to try to like separate the visuals. And they sound brilliant on this.
Totally.
They sound fantastic.
When I watched the second time, I was frantically taking notes in the dark movie theater, and I wrote down "soulless elephant love medley."
Oh my god, you're so right, though.
Yeah,
they're not singing to each other for like most
Yes.
of it, which is crazy. It just felt like, yeah. Ugh.
And Jonathan Bailey is doing this thing where he's like playing to charm and to woo. And I don't know if it's because he's going for these really rock vocals that it doesn't really come off as genuine, or that like my other counterpoint is Ewan McGregor doing this, and I think he just connects so much more in that moment. I don't know. I feel guilty making it seem like this man can't love a black woman, but it does kind of feel like you did cast a gay woman and a gay man to fall in love with each other.
But like, I will say, like, that wasn't true of the first movie.
That's
like,
true.
In the first
I agree.
movie, he was so like, their chemistry was actually really believable, and I do think Jonathan Bailey could have chemistry with a rock. Like, I really think I saw him with Elmo, and I was like, I've never wanted to be Elmo more in my entire life. I was like, God damn, stop talking to Elmo in this way.
Yeah.
Like, I really do think it's a direction issue, not an
I agree.
acting issue. I'll be honest. I really think I really think they pulled him back. I really believe that because, again, this felt like trying to sanitize the scene. That's really how this felt to me. It's like, we have to show this to kids. We cannot make this too sexy. That's really how a lot of those decisions felt. And I think that is like, I think they deliberately held actors back, and I think it really undermines the entire scene. And
Totally.
like, yeah, I just felt really bad about it. I did like the reverse Superman moment. I thought that was good. I think that she makes him float, and he's like, what?
Yeah, that was very cool. That was a nice
That was
touch.
cute.
Because they do make it seem like they're walking up a staircase.
They do.
Like, they frame
and then
that
he's like,
well.
oh my God, what? And then, but yeah, I mean, like, again, like, we don't even see when they're like lying together in bed afterward. The blanket is over Fiero's nipples. Like, this is a very chaste scene. And I think because it doesn't look like Elphaba taking what's rightfully hers, I think it sort of undermines her journey, to be honest. Like, that for the first time, I feel wicked. I'm like, girl, you've been wearing a giant sweater this whole time. There's like nothing wicked about what you just did. You just gently expressed to a man that you would like to kiss him now. Like, it's fine.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, it misses the kind of tension of it, I think.
And it doesn't feel like this big release, like this big thing you've been waiting for, is these two people to be able to tell their feelings to one another. And it's like, oh, okay. I mean, I felt more like two people were coming together that needed to come together when Elphaba, in a very gay and messy way, shows up in Glinda's room on the day of her wedding.
100%.
I was like, this is much more tension.
When they hug and she says, careful of your dress, I'm like, oh my God.
I was like, oh my God, lesbians.
This is crazy. You're so right. You're so right.
There's so much more tension in that scene. It's electric.
And that's the thing. It sucks that this movie shines when they have scenes together, and when they don't have scenes together,
the whole goddamn movie.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I get again that Act 2 is largely them going about their own two lives, and then they reunite on For Good. But because you made this 2 goddamn hours, it's a little more, it just feels really drawn out. Because again, like, I do think the best parts of this movie are consistently when those two women are on screen together, working together. Yeah. I wept during For Good. I was a mess, dude.
Yeah.
I was going into it having felt all of my tumultuous feelings throughout the entire movie, and still somehow when those two women started singing at each other, I was just openly weeping. Like,
it's so good.
It works. It shines. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous sequence. It's also the only goddamn time when they're allowed to just sing a song through.
While Dorothy's locked in the basement.
Hilarious. Hilarious. Keep it.
Keep it. We'll always be funny.
Always funny.
When I'm reflecting on this, I think, like, when I think about Wicked Part 1, I like 75% of that movie, and then I really think they messed up Defying Gravity. And then when I think about this movie, I kind of don't like 75% of this movie, but they really nail For Good. And so I think I leave the theater going like, I had a great time. But I forget about the rest of it. That is literally
what I've been trying to express to people. So thank you for saying it. I was like, I know you were leaving on a high, but that does not forgive the hour and a half before that where I was confused and sometimes angry.
Totally.
Yeah. We haven't really touched on Goldblum and Yo and the way we've tried to portray fascism in this movie, and the way fascists work. How do you feel about it?
Not good.
Great.
No, I do. There are some choices here that I think are good and timely. And I like the swings that they're going for in this movie. Like, I like the first they came for the animals, now they're coming for the munchkins, right? Like, I think that's really a good take to have right now. I don't think they've really thought through how the end like relates to that as a concept. It's just like,
because sort of now Glinda's just sort of a good dictator.
Yeah, we've just assumed that she's good with no evidence. I mean, Elphaba doesn't have any evidence at all throughout the entire movie that Glinda will fight for animal rights at any point. But she, at the very end in For Good, is like, you need to lead the people. I know you'll do the right thing. And I'm kind of like, where does she get that idea from?
Yeah.
And the There's No Place Like Home song is all about fighting for the place that doesn't love you. And Elphaba decides to leave at the end. I know I'm not really talking about the fascism, but
you're
it
right,
relates
though.
to everything.
What I was getting at, which is what you're getting at, is that we are trying to take this show and talk about the current moment, which is something that I love. And I really admire that instinct, and I appreciate that they're going for it. I do not think we always hit our marks. I think that it can be a little tricky. Yeah, we've got this No Place Like Home, which is very, very pointed. It is on the nose, on the button of hey, we have a black woman saying this place has never loved me, but I love the idea of it anyway. This is a get to the polls speech. It's wild.
Yes. Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got, Girl in the Bubble, which is, I do think, something very interesting about, putting a white feminist and saying, I can get by in a world like this, and maybe I shouldn't. And I think there is something, what I will say for all of this is I don't think it's as nuanced as they think they're being. I think they're, quite blunt, and I think sort of tonally or misunderstand or overly or reductive on things. However, I do want to applaud that there's a world in which a little girl comes out of this movie and knows that she shouldn't live in a pink shiny bubble. And I think that is really lovely. I do think that they're trying something. I do not think that it always works. Because like you said, for us, we think Glinda can be good because we've been watching her closely. We've been with her on her emotional journey. Elphaba, all she knows is that Glinda was complicit in her sister's death and then stole her sister's shoes. There's no reason for Elphaba to believe that Glinda will do the right thing when given absolute power, right? There are leaps that they're making that don't make sense unless they're in love. But
it's a weird one because I completely 1,000% agree with what you're saying, and that is the same way I walk out of this too. Is that if this gets people to think about fascism a little bit differently, awesome. If it makes people walk out of this going, a black woman should walk away from all of this with her boyfriend and be heteronormative into the void, and a white woman should seize power.
3? Yeah,
yeah,
she's walking into Dune 3.
If that's the message people walk away with, that's not great. So I don't know. Yeah,
it's difficult to reconcile with the way this show ends, because you kind of like, on the other hand, like there's no way Elphaba and Fiyero could ever be inconspicuous. Like, they kind of do have to leave because one of them's made of straw and one of them's green. Like, they are not going to be able to blend into even the smallest town.
I mean, couldn't they have still lived in her swamp that no one discovered?
I guess. Or his... You know? Oh, but we haven't talked about how this castle that Fiero's family doesn't live in is a Super Mario level.
Super Mario levels, exactly right.
She's fucking platforming during No Good Deed, dude. Which we also haven't talked about.
Yeah, we should talk about No Good Deed.
Why is Fiero's house like that?
I don't know. I have no fucking clue. I really struggle. I struggle with this in the stage show a little bit, but I think it makes more sense in the stage show. But in this, what is the good deed that she's mourning?
Great fucking question, dude. Great fucking question. I don't know. I was really lost. I think this is part of what, okay, I think, and I could be wrong about this, I think the screenwriters and the team think that the good deed is making Nessa float, because that's the only time she says in the show.
So long ago.
That's so long ago, and does not lead to Nessa's destruction. So it's like she's not being punished for that.
So I mean, my thought was that her good deed. But that's the only time
that she says something good. That's the only
her good deed was releasing the animals, and that inadvertently creates a chain of events that gets Fiyero turned into a scarecrow. Like I think that also still happens a long time ago, because she still has to
we added
sleep
so
with
much
Fiyero
shit,
afterwards.
Dude.
It's
we added way too much shit, and therefore like it's not clear what she's talking about.
Yeah.
I will say No Good Deed as a song hits different when you work in the charity sector. I was like, I feel this. Random moments, I was like, yes. But
yeah, because that's the thing. I do understand the feeling of like she's trying so hard to be good, and every time it, just fucks up her life even more. But we don't get the sense of that in the movie. We don't get that frustration culminating into this song.
It just and then suddenly, I'm like, what good deed were you talking about, babe?
Exactly. And then she decides, well, fuck it, I'm just going to be Wicked now. And her version of Wicked is kidnapping Dorothy and taking her shoes. And I'm like, in comparison to everything that's been happening in this movie, not really that wicked.
Yeah.
And then she decides to give up and leave. Like, she's wicked for maybe 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't really get this as a transformative song in the show.
Yeah, it is rough. I think, again, Cynthia Erivo sounds great on it. I will say this is possibly the only time where some of her riffs don't work for me. I think, like, you and I have talked about this off mic at least before, where, like, I don't mind people. I actually love when people in a musical riff on it if they're coming from an emotional place and, like, it's being honest. Like, Cynthia Erivo obviously did like a new riff on Defying Gravity that has now become the new riff on it, and it sounds unbelievable. It's coming from such an honest place. It's coming from such a like an expression of frustration, of joy, of like the huge emotions at the end of that song. And to me, the Fiyero on this, the long sustained shouting Fiyero, just feels like a riff and doesn't feel like an emotional expression. It just feels showy.
I actually do. I do disagree with that. Okay. I like that riff on it because that part is so explosively scary. When we turn to seeing Fiyero as a scarecrow and the orchestration gets so loud. Because I like when they lean into the scariness of this musical, because that, I mean, no one warrants the Wicked hearing that for the first
Castle.
time.
Like, what could be scarier?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, dude. Sorry. I really hated that she was platforming during this song.
It's really dumb. She's like, the Mario movie and Minecraft's doing really well.
Dude,
can we get
because
some of
also
that?
Mario, the Super Mario Galaxy trailer played before this movie for me, so my brain was like a little bit like, I don't know what I'm watching anymore.
Oh my god, I need to take this quick aside to say they have a new SpongeBob movie, and the trailer was playing before this movie, it upset me so much. As someone who loves SpongeBob, I just like watched a trailer where they just debase him in such a way that it was upsetting. And the second time I went to see it, when that trailer came up, I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom now. I really can't see this. It really hurt me in a way that I didn't like.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's so traumatizing.
Okay. It's just the world we live in. They take the things you love and then they make them capitalist nightmares.
Yep.
But all that to say, I did like the riffing on that particular moment, but I do get what you're saying when these riffs feel uninspired.
Yeah. For me, this is the only time Cynthia Erivo's vocals didn't 100% work for me. I mean, she's an unbelievably talented person. That is still clear throughout this. Totally. I do think that it's just weird that she's sort of like sidelined for like half of this movie.
Yeah, shortly, I mean, I don't know if it's shortly after, but at some point after this movie, we get the Bubble song that we've been alluding to. It is...
You mean watching Ariana Grande walk up and down stairs and look into mirrors for like 5 full minutes?
Listen, I think the filming of that is pretty cool. I like that it's like a really long one shot that is faked by flipping into mirrors and warping your perception, and I think that can work. I think the problem is that the song is so bad and boring that our brains just kind of turn off throughout that whole scene. So I think the idea there is interesting and good. And I think the idea of having a song where Glinda is confronting her, I guess, delusion, is really good. I just think the song doesn't do that job because I'm hearing the word bubble said like a million times.
A lot. And unfortunately, my brain, when I hear the word bubble said, goes to Maya Rudolph saying bubble bath. So that's rough.
Totally. Yeah, both the Bubble song and There's No Place Like Home were just like, what are metaphors from The Wizard of Oz? Let's just say those 100 times and not actually say anything about them. Like we're asking the question but not really coming to an answer. They're like, hey, why are you fighting for this place that doesn't love you anymore? Well, there's no place like home. And like, that can't be the answer to that question. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. No, both of these are a little first draft to me. Yeah. They're both... It would be very funny. Like, these are both songs I would cut if I were to try to adapt this like movie into a stage show.
Yeah, totally.
Like, we'll get rid of those.
Stephen Schwartz is obviously a legend and has written amazing songs and is
a lot of which are in this show.
Talented.
I love so many songs in this show.
Yes.
I just felt like these felt underbaked to me. Both of them. They don't have the build. They don't have like. Again, the metaphors are so plain. They're so on the surface that I don't get anything. Yeah, I don't get anything out of these, to be honest. Again, really I admire where they're coming from, but I don't think they get there.
It really sounds like he didn't have someone around him going, that's a bad draft. Try that again.
Try again.
Like, do something different.
Yeah.
Which sucks. But he's an old band now. Yeah.
No, I completely agree. And like we said, again, admire the thought process, admire the meaning behind them, but they're not hitting their marks. They're just not good. Yeah, a little disappointing on those. Again, both women sound brilliant, obviously.
Yeah, they sound great on it. Yeah, they're doing the best with it that they can. Cynthia Erivo in particular has some like really, really great riffs.
Oh, she sounds fucking brilliant.
She sounds awesome. But yeah. Fuck those songs. I can't stand them.
Yeah.
We talked about For Good a little bit. Oh, actually, we haven't even talked about Wonderful. Let's go back to Wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, we just started talking about fascism and forgot to talk about the song.
Yeah, we didn't talk about... Okay, so we do need to talk about just Michelle Yeoh and Jeff Goldblum.
Yes, please.
I love Jeff Goldblum a lot as an actor. I love both of these actors. I have a shirt that just has it says Michelle Yeoh on it. It has like 5 pictures of Michelle Yeoh. Like, I am a Michelle Yeoh stan. I don't know that this was the right use of Michelle Yeoh.
It was not.
I have to whisper that. I don't think.
I love this ASMR podcast.
I don't think this should have been Michelle Yeoh.
Sorry, what was that, Liza? Could you say that again?
I think maybe this should have been a different actor.
I get the idea behind it, right? Like, I think John Chu is just like, he loves Michelle Yeoh. I can understand that.
Can't blame him.
Yeah. She does such a great job of being an intimidating figure that you want to impress. We saw that in Crazy Rich Asians. We saw that in Wicked Part 1, honestly. But I don't know. She wasn't doing her best work in this.
Me.
Yeah.
I've never felt that way about her on screen before, so it was really jarring.
Yeah.
I think part of it is that she's like, to me, her discomfort with singing was really evident.
Yeah.
And Madam Morrible is not that vocally demanding a part. I do think you can mostly act your way through it, but by simplifying the lines for her and by kind of making them go, she jumps right into speaking, there felt a distinct discomfort with what was going on. And I think that took me out of it with her in a big way. And I was sitting there like, why isn't this Cheryl Lee Ralph?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
that's the big thing.
We have so many women who've played this role on stage before who are brilliant and having their own comeback moments, like Cheryl Lee Ralph, who is one of your original dream girls. You can't get more iconic than that. And yeah, I think there was just something that felt really, this role didn't feel like this iteration of Madam Morrible, this act 2, where she has much more power and she is becoming more, she's doing anything to hold on to it. I just didn't feel the emotion of that. She kind of just felt stock evil.
There is, I mean, if I'm being generous, I think there is a world in which John Chu is trying to say something about model minorities and, casting an Asian woman in this role, as, the criticism with a lot of Asian Americans has been that they sit by and let oppression happen to other people because they will be comfortable in their own seat of power. And I think that might have been a choice. It didn't work. No,
I actually agree. I think you're right. I think there is something really interesting to be said there. I don't think they get to it here. I think the world instead just feels out of place. Instead just feels strange. Even she makes this horrifying decision to kill a disabled woman. And I don't feel the horror of it. Like, it was just really weird. I don't feel it until we get Ariana Grande realizing that's what happened. Right? Like, there was just something missing in this Madam Morrible that was really difficult and hard to admit as someone who is a giant fan of Michelle Yeoh. And I do think not just her. I do think it's direction. I do think there are weird creative choices being made. I think that it all comes together to create a Madam Morrible that is just sort of evil for no reason.
And they also give her that weird comedy edit in that CGI stampede that happens where she's bouncing into the cake, and I'm just like, what
oh
are
my
we
god,
doing here?
101 Dalmatians bullshit. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't know what to do with that.
I will always be a fan of whatever our stand-in for oppressed people wrecking rich people's shit. That's always going to work for me and be good. But this was
bouncing
weird
into a wedding cake was a really weird choice, and it, again, was part of that tonal mismatch that made this whole movie hard to read.
Yeah, because after that we have "I'm Not That Girl."
Yeah, immediately.
It's crazy.
God, that was so weird. I forgot about that. Fuck.
Yeah,
so strange.
But yes, all this to say, wonderful. I mean, I love Jeff Goldblum. I love what Jeff Goldblum does with characters, even if it's kind of tired at this point, his whole shtick. It still works for me and it's still charming. But Wonderful is such a mess of why would Elphaba listen to him for 5 seconds at all in this scene? It's beyond me.
At this point, the development they've done on Elphaba to get her to be this revolutionary makes it not believable that she would even sort of listen to him.
Yeah. And it's really
so
nice. It's really nice the moment she has with Glinda when they're like doing their Peter Pan flying over the stars and stuff on those what has to be the most uncomfortable seat in the world, a couple of brooms. And they have like their dance moment where they're like, remember we did this weird dance? Oh, we love each other again. And I can see her getting swept up by that and then deciding, wait a second, this is wrong.
I feel like that's why we rely so heavily on Glinda in this scene, to be honest. Is there's no universe.
Because she's not in Wonderful.
Originally. The Broadway recording is just the wizard. I think that's why we rely on Glinda so heavily, is because like the only thing that I think would get Elphaba to come back is Glinda. Like their connection is special and is important.
The switch-ups are crazy for me, though. Like, I don't get why Elphaba trusts him to even sing the song in the first place. And then she decides, okay, here's the deal. We're going... If you bring all the animals back, we can make this work. Which is great, and totally makes sense that, you know, that would be a deal they would make. But then she sees the caged animals, and then the deal's off. I don't understand why she wouldn't be like, okay, I'm releasing these animals.
Well,
You're
she
still
doesn't know
going
he
to make
has
sure...
all those.
I guess, but why wouldn't she assume that the person abducting all the animals is the wizard?
I don't think she knows. Yeah, I think she just hasn't assumed that. I think she thinks that they've all escaped because she's seen them escaping. I don't think she thinks they've been abducted. I think she's trying to return the rights to the ones who are still here. I don't think she realizes he's been keeping them besides the monkeys. I think the only ones she realizes are in captivity are the flying monkeys.
Got it. It does still feel weirdly confusing to me that, like, she wouldn't assume that he's been doing awful things this whole time, because that has been the assumption she's been making before Wonderful happened.
I agree in general that it's like a little weird that Elphaba buys in. So I'm glad that it's not long until she buys back out. I do think there's a point to be made about how Jeff Goldblum's shtick is so shticky at this point. But it works for the wizard. I still think it's a really good casting choice, because he has to be sort of like this roguish, charming, weird kind of guy. And like he does kind of have like an old carny vibe.
Totally.
And,
I mean, he gives me the most consistent laughs.
He's funny in this.
Yeah.
Like when he's locked in the thing and then Madam Morrible, he's like, "Do you have a hairpin?" Like I laughed. Like it's really good.
Or him going, "Hey, I like that dancing earlier. That was fun."
Like that was fun. Like an old weird dad. Like I really do enjoy him in this role. I do think he's having a good time. I think he's a brilliant casting choice for this.
Yeah.
We do have to briefly mention CGI Jeff Goldblum.
CGI brown-faced Jeff Goldblum. I felt all through my body. Just horrific. You didn't need to do that. There were so many ways to do that. That was not the only option for that scene. Yeah,
and it was horrid. It was just so bad.
It really doesn't make any sense to me as a choice.
No, as a choice, it's so baffling. Like, yeah. No, it was just really bad. It was really, really bad. It was shocking. It was a hard thing to do because it's a very serious moment stage-wise, because, of course, story-wise, we're learning that the wizard is Elphaba's father, and I guess his jizz was green because of the shit he drinks.
So weird.
Weird. But yeah, that shot of him was so unacceptable.
With those scenes where Glinda is kind of, like, wiping up... both Madam Morrible and the Wiz. It is a little bit "This Is My Fight" song coded for me, that whole sequence. I still like it, I think, but it was I don't know, it left a little bit of a bitter taste.
Yeah, again, it's like we're going for something, and I don't think we hit our marks on it. We're kind of going for like a weird Disney-fied version. I mean, like, you know what's interesting to me is there were moments of this, and I'm thinking very specifically of As Long As You're Mine and stuff like that gave me war flashbacks to the really horrid adaptation of Into the Woods that happened like a decade ago now.
Yes, we've all tried to forget about that one.
Yes, I'm so sorry to bring it up. But what it reminded me of specifically was the way that we had to sanitize Hello Little Girl in a big way, because that is such a sexual song. I mean, if you watch the brilliant stage recording of the original cast, the wolf has like a dick on, like, that's on his, like, it's meant to be grotesque, but because we had cast an actual goddamn child to play Little Red, it just became, you know, oh, the wolf's gonna eat her in a non-sexual way. He's just hungry in a normal way.
We have to change this.
It felt like that a little bit, where we're taking kind of the depth out of certain things by trying to make them so easily comprehended. Like, almost by trying to make things so plain, we actually make them make less sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think, to speak on the fascism of it all, I feel like this is a hard thing even for me to put into words, so I'm going to try to be careful here. I think it is a good idea to get animals to be the stand-in for oppressed people, because I think white people care about animals more than they care about, like, you could see an animal dying in a movie and it would be crushing, and then you could see 100 brown men die in a movie and not think anything of it. I think a lot of audiences feel that way, right? So I think it is smart in that way to be like, hey, these animals are human beings, but the framing of human beings or oppressed people as animals is also pretty bad. But I don't know what they do with that, right? Like, I think that's the source material. They're trying to do something with it, and I think they mostly get the right parts of it down.
And I think by looping Munchkins in, and also we haven't made Munchkins, like, little people. Like, they are, like, physically mostly this. They look the same as other Ozians. So I think that works, too. I think by being, like, we've come for this obviously visibly different group, and now we're going for, like, other people. But, yeah, I do agree. It evokes sympathy in a huge way from all audiences, but when you scratch underneath that and be like, so are bears black? It becomes a little like,
Totally.
I get it. I totally agree. I also just want to say the assortment of animals in this movie is an ecological nightmare, but like
totally.
I was like, what's a fennec fox doing in this environment?
Yeah, I get the idea, obviously, of doing CGI animals, because you have to figure out some kind of way to do this. But it kind of does take me out.
Well,
that we
part
have
of
such
what makes No Place Like Home so weird. It's just like
it's
just like a green woman singing too much of CGI. I'm just like, what is going on right now?
And when we're not racist against animals anymore at the very end, when Glinda's like, yes, all of you come out, and everybody's like, hey, we don't hate these people at all anymore.
We fixed it. It's like a little wild.
A little wild.
A little wild.
I really gotta say, the last shot of the film being the poster, full chills all over my whole body.
Yeah, that was fun.
It really lands. I can't believe it's taken so long for us to talk about this, but every single flashback scene to that little group date that they have
I wanted to be there.
It
was so
good.
Beautiful. It was so beautifully shot. They all looked so lovely. Those were some of my favorite costumes in the movie. I was kind of like annoyed that they were only in this one the only flashback where we don't get too much dialogue.
Totally.
That's the other thing about it. There were some really beautiful shots in the movie. I will say that. There were also like some really, I will say this is so specific. I'm going to lose most of our audience of 3 people by saying this, but there's something that's been really throwing me recently about the way movies are shot, in that we don't really do depth of field anymore. Like, so many things are shot on lenses where only our subjects in focus and there's no depth of field. It's just a huge shift, and it's been happening for a long time, and this movie is one of many where that's been going on. But I do think that they're like, and that's the epidemic of iPhones and the cinematic setting, is it automatically, I think those shots are so effective when they're used to get inside someone's head. Like, the world falls away and you're with one character, and that's what's important. It gets you literally to focus. But I do think in a world like this that's so magical and so beautiful, the shots that are most successful for me are often the ones where we do have depth of field. Like there's a really beautiful shot of Glinda at the destruction of her own wedding, like walking across the shot. I was like, fuck, just give me depth of field on more shots, because let me be in this world. Like, you've made a world and it's blurred. Like, why am I looking at a... Anyway, that is like so specific, but...
No, I completely agree. It is something where so many scenes are just like shot, reverse shot, over somebody's shoulder.
Okay, I mean, I will say about
during
For Good, I was like, we're just going in a circle around two women
yeah.
for a long time. But okay. I was crying. It worked, so...
I think the thing that helps is that they have these huge practical sets that they built, and so they want to show it off a little bit more. And yeah, lean into that. That's great.
It's so cool looking.
Love that.
It's so cool looking. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of shots that are really, really beautiful in this movie. I will give them credit for that.
Yeah, and the last shot, or all of the shots of where they're having that group date or that flashback is really effective in that way. And I remember it from the first film too, being one of the moments I loved when somebody's like, hey, Glinda, weren't you friends with her? And we flash to that same date. It's a nice little bit of cohesion that they have between the two movies that they keep throwing back to that scene. It does make me think this really should have been one movie.
Yeah, I agree.
And cut out all of the fluff and just make it 4 hours. Just make it Lord of the Rings.
Dude,
length,
we'll watch it.
Yeah,
we'll watch it. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm trying to think. What have we not gone over? I mean, I know there are things.
I'm sure a bunch. It's such a long
goddamn movie, dude.
One small shout out I like is that in the first movie, Glinda asks Madam Morrible about wand tips. Need they have a point? She has like that essay that she wrote for her. And then Madam Morrible gives her a wand that is all points. I don't know if that's intentional, but I think it is. And I like that choice.
It's a good choice. It's a good choice. Yeah. God, this movie was so complicated. I still feel a complicated way about it, I think there are just like, for all that we've enumerated on its many flaws, it ends on such a high. It ends on such an unbelievable high for like a movie-going kid, a theater kid, that I was just like, I was blown away by the ending of this. Oh my God, we haven't talked about Cloth Fierro at all.
Yeah, do you have thoughts on that?
What was his hair, bro? His hair being straw was so crazy. Just let him wear a hat. I was like, put the hat back on.
The frustrating thing about this, and again, I don't think this is Jonathan Bailey's fault. I think this is direction and the way they've chosen their shots. Nothing about him read Scarecrow to me.
No.
Like nothing in his movement felt Scarecrow.
I actually disagree on the movement. I do think he had the movement. There's like a lot in the way, because of course we don't show that it's Fierro like at all until that last reveal. And I did think his physicality on Scarecrow was pretty good when we're not seeing his face. Right.
Okay, yeah, I think I must have missed that then. But yeah, it is weird.
It is
I
weird.
think the Tin Man looks scary in a good way.
Yeah, I actually really liked Ethan Slater's Tin Man in a way that I that was a really interesting read on the character as so angry, but like so spooky. I actually really, I thought he was really effective.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I do think that line was a little bitch in the best way. that little line is
Domingo,
so scared.
Yeah.
Unreal. Such a little loser.
Unreal. He was he was so annoying.
He was really annoying. He like cuts off the end of No Place Like Home, which like I'm a little bit thankful for, but is so weird.
He's very like, I'm gonna blame a woman for all of my problems. In a way that's crazy. It really works though. It's such a believable take on that version of the Cowardly Lion.
The Cowardly Lion's just an incel.
Honestly, he's just like, you ruined my life by taking me out of a cage. She's like, what? Like she's so caught off guard by it.
You mentioned that part where Fiyero goes out into the storm and we have no reason why he goes there, and then runs into
the monkeys and just holds his hands up.
That whole thing sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's like, yeah, it's just very strange. God. Yeah, there are a lot of like leaps. Again, it's so strange because we spend so much time on shit we don't need to see, and then we're forced to make these giant leaps of like information for other reasons. And again, like the whole scene, at least very emotional scene, where of course, like, again, the violent tone shift between this very funny cat fight between Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande turning into this extremely serious life and death showdown a moment later, because Fiyero is sacrificing himself so that Elphaba can get away from the city guard who have come.
But also pointing a gun at Glinda. And that moment is really, I think, charged in a great way, but it comes off of that cat fight and is so weird. And then she walks forward towards his gun to be like, you're not going to shoot me, and then I'm looking at the gun that looks just like a leaf, and I'm like, what is this? I can't take this gun seriously.
The gun is a little too goofy. The gun's a little too silly. This is coming from someone who watched Star Trek, and like phasers are like, just remote controls. And even I'm like, this gun's too silly. Like, it's too silly.
We have to draw the line somewhere.
We have to draw the line somewhere, you guys.
Yeah. I don't understand. Does Glinda not have the power to be like, hey, don't torture Fiyero? Like, doesn't she have some semblance of power in that moment?
That is confusing too, because we're meant to see Glinda as like complicit in everything, but maybe she's just a spokesperson. Like maybe she doesn't have, maybe she is just a figurehead. It's a little hard to determine what her deal is, but I think it's just that she's a figurehead, and the guard doesn't actually have to listen to Glinda.
It is diabolical when For Good is happening and Glinda has the line about both having blame to share, and it's like, you sold out her sister and got her killed, and Elphaba slept with your fiance who didn't love you. Like, those aren't the same.
Yeah, not the same. I will say I thought Ariana Grande was really good when she like, I really felt Glinda's hurt.
Me too
in a way that I hadn't, I guess, like, remembered it being so painful for Glinda, but it was like I really felt her hurt when Fiyero runs away, and like the scene where she's like, go after her sister, just spread a rumor, was like, oh fuck, like you really hurt her, like she is just lashing out because she's hurt, and I really felt that. I have to give her credit. I was like, wow, I really feel that she's been wrong. She's been hurt.
No, 100%. It does, again, put question marks on the framing for me of like, why are we spending so much time caring about Glinda's hurt more than Elphaba's hurt?
I don't see Elphaba learn that her sister died.
Yeah.
She comes out having processed it. She walks out, she's like, she's like more mad about the shoes than her sister being dead, which is part of why the shoes feel so shallow. And again, that's the source material. The source material is that we have to have the witch go after the shoes. But if they had been able to tie that effectively to Elphaba's grief, I would have felt differently. But the tie is not there. Like, it doesn't work. She'd immediately, again, it's a funny scene because we open on Glinda saying, goodbye, Dorothy, goodbye, Dodo, which is hilarious. But
I do like love how much she
just
hates
bashing Dorothy all the time. It's hilarious.
She's like, that girl is always doing something.
She's like, God, again? Like, and it's really funny.
It lands every time.
It lands every time. I also, the decision not to see Dorothy.
It's fun.
It works.
Yeah.
Any
last thoughts, Liza? I think we've said a lot about this 2.5 hour movie.
The thing is, that For Good is so strong, dude. It's
so good.
Blown away by it. And that scene where they're on either side, I mean, we put Glinda into a closet, but anyway, that scene where they're on either side of the door, I was like absolutely weeping. Like, it's really good. The moments in this, this is like very similar to what we said about the first one, but in the moments in which this movie works is when they trusted their actors and they trusted the material. And that is really only in this movie and For Good. But it really fucking works. Like, it is an unbelievably good scene. I was sobbing. Like, there were just tears streaming down my face. These two women have such a connection and such chemistry, and it's such a shame I had to spend 2 hours where they weren't on screen together, because when they are on screen together, it is something magical. You do see why these two women are cast. It's hard because, like, movie adaptations of musicals, there are so many, like, lost ones in my mind, right? Of, like, when we did have the perfect cast and we didn't film that version of it, or so, like, you know, you, for all your Into the Woods, you just, God, it should have been Bernadette Peters. I mean, you know me, I love Meryl, but, like, if we'd gotten that Bernadette Peters, Joanna Gleason, can you imagine? Or, like, My Fair Lady, we don't have the Julie Andrews. Like, there are so many of these, and, like, we finally fucking nailed it on those. And, like, that, there is something really satisfying about that. I wish this movie lived up to those two women.
100%. But it's also nice that it doesn't necessarily need to. I still walk away from this feeling changed for good.
Yeah.
No, I walk away from this happy that it was made.
Yeah, 100%.
You know,
100%.
That's the big thing. And as much as the pacing of this whole movie is bonkers bad and every scene is way too long, they really were patient with that last for good kind of whole sequence. And I like that. You know, at least they nailed the important thing, I think.
They did. They nailed the most important part of the movie. Whereas I didn't feel that the last time when Defying Gravity was my least favorite part of the movie.
Yep. Agreed.
So they,
Agreed.
they took our notes, but not enough, and not all of them.
So if you're listening for Wicked Part 3...
Which is The Wizard of Oz? Question mark.
Oh. Yeah,
no, it's
the
Lion
Wizard
King
of Oz,
2.5. That's what that is.
Yeah, it's then that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern is Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Woof. But yeah, I think that's all we have to say about this.
I mean, nothing will ever be, but I think it's as close as we can get in this moment.
Totally.
Without going insane.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, any other last thoughts, Liza?
I would love to, my dream is to go into one of those like sound bath pod things and listen to this soundtrack absent of any sensory input and see how I feel about it.
That's a great take. Because I do think, I actually didn't really think much about the music of it all. But I do think the orchestrations were quite good and everybody sounded really good, except for kind of Michelle Yeoh, unfortunately.
I can't
but
believe
we'll say
it,
that
man.
quietly.
I can't believe it. Anyway,
We still love her.
I still love you. I love you, Michelle.
But the fact that nothing was glaring for me means that it was good. Those two songs suck. That's basically it.
Again, admire the thought. They just don't work. You and I talk about this all the time. I think sometimes when you laud a creator too much and they stop getting editorial input, they get worse. Good art cannot be created without good editors and good audiences. I think that's fucking
100%.
like Susan Sontag. Not to bring Susan Sontag in this conversation. I'm so sorry. But yeah.
But that's for good. This is going to be our last Wicked one, hopefully.
Hopefully.
There's not more Wicked content out there. I think let's pause on that. I think we've got a good one there.
All right. Bye.
Bye.